Great and beautiful morning and evening to you all, wherever you are joining me at this hour. Welcome to 546th edition of Invest Data Trading Academy Live with Ambrose. Yes, I'll tell you that the global market as we speak is very mixed. This is the last trading day of the week, and I'll tell you most of these markets are in green, while some of them are also in red. Back to Africa, I'll tell you that also Africa market are majorly in green. Only few of the African market or South Africa market is in red. And NGS is not left behind. I tell NGS this morning has pulled back a market reaction to what the result that came from the banking sector, or say the three dividend paying bank, especially the one that came from Zenith Bank and also from UBA. We expect that others will come on or before what end of the month of September. But good news that this is an opportunity, a pullback in a market like this, an opportunity to buy into value. We see that yes, things are changing, data are coming, and they are improving. How will you invest both in mature market and down here in our local market? Let's start from usual. Let's look at what is happening in Asia market at this hour, which I'll tell you that that is market that most traders in the world always look at when comparing global sense to see how is Asia market because of what another large economy, second large economy in that zone. All eyes are still after looking at the US, they look at what is happening in Asia, on the strength of what is happening in China and its environment, other domains around that axis. Yes, but I'll tell you that at this hour that Asian stock or market maintain an upbeat on Friday with a good news, tracking overnight rally we saw in the US market, where US most of the three major indicators in that market or indices in that market hit a new high, and that is what we're seeing that Asia market at this hour has also kind of remain upbeat on that trend. With also seeing that Japan index as to speak early gain after the Bank of Japan left rate unchanged, and this is what was expected. But in that during that meeting, after that meeting, the chairman or call it the governor of that bank, I mentioned that yes, they were selling their holdings in ETFs and also in investment. I mean, real estate investment trust. They will be selling their position in that. That also put that market a bit not dicey. As that instrument, they were existing that instrument. That is the only thing. But I will tell you that most of the tech companies in US and even in Asia market have supported the rally we saw yesterday in US and at this hour also in Asia market. We have seen that most of the move by this big tech company to acquire more from others and also their numbers coming have kind of triggered sentiment in that sector. As Nvidia is also trying to acquire about $5 billion stake in one of the US chip making company. This was announced also during the day and that yesterday, and that also have triggered move, and for me it's a good one. Like I said earlier, that Japan have hold rate unchanged, and after we have seen that US have cut rates, so also England also legal rate unchanged. There is a Bank of England, good one, Japan unchanged, and I tell you that yes, this is a sign that we're likely to see the end of the last APC meeting for most of this or policy meeting for most of this mature economy this year, and to usher in a better year 2026 with the World Trade Court. All eyes are still on the tariffs impact and also the political tension. But still, we're seeing moves after ECB. We're coming to European stocks where we talk about ECB there. Let's look at also for me this decision for Japan Central Bank. Bank of Japan to hold rate and also kind of clear some doubt and also give a clear direction of their financial markets, which also that way that with this, let's see what is going to be a slowdown in export and also global uncertainties to see how the policy managers and the economy will also be monitored to see how this can weigh on the world on the growth or resilient in terms of price pressure. These are the things we're simple. Like I said earlier, Japan Nikkei 225 also reversed the marginal gain, but I believe that yes, let's see and see what will happen. Let's wait and see what will happen at the end of the day. But still, the index is still around 45,852.75 as we speak right now at this area in that domain, right? But I'll tell you that most moves already in this as the people are set to buy the ETFs they want to sell effectively. This also sustain kind of a demand for under index to see what happened in Japan. Good news for that rate was not high, even if while inflation decided to raise the ugly head in there. Let's wait and see. And other indices there also looking in the other direction. I will tell you that for Japan inflation, with the consumer price index rose to 2.7 in August from the early, slowing down from 3.1 in what in in July. That by saying that above the Bank of Japan a target of 2%. Let's see target for almost a 30% consecutive months. Let's see how far it will go to. But I believe that there's no cause for alarm. But let's wait this time to invest. But also the kind of misreaction as Trump visit to UK and also signing deal on all these tech companies focused and also China chiefs extend the rally. Like I said earlier, these are what have supported the Asia market that remain up because I tell you if blue chips China companies in this are also up by 0.3 and also you can see these are also impacted the major activities in that in extending the Tuesday rally but little pause in some of few of them to show that today we are seeing this trade relation with US ahead of Trump talk call with what with the counterparts which know, the SIJP, the meeting also see how far they're going to go in conclusion. We all believe that today most of the stock there and China internet regulators also looking at how to dominate and how to also regulate and see how their local technology firms also firm up and stop buying all these artificial intelligence here and there by focusing on what they can do on their own. Probably it's a good move there. Let's quickly look at what is happening in Europe. Like I said, Europe market is a place also to pay attention. And why is why? Because I tell you, after US and China, the next place is that zone to see how far. But I speak now, I tell you that most of the stock in Eurozone are really open up on a good one. I think they're edging up higher today, Friday, last trading day of the week. And likely to start index in this market, in this Eurozone, are likely to close on a positive note in the week of what rate cut by the US Federal Reserve. These are also important. And also, I tell you, the optimism about rate cut is what we're going to see that it will spread across the globe. And let's see how what's going to be happen. Even as the sign of weak economy in the US and also cutting rate to see they can kind of revitalize that economy. You see, and also not forget that crude oil price also deteriorate even as you speak now. The crude oil price is going down. It cut the rate cut because the economy of US is not too strong or that the demand for oil also not so much. I believe that the slowdown will be a plus for them. Let's see how it goes. That's a good one. And how let's watch how it goes. It's good to see what is happening in that market right away. But I believe all eyes on the outcome of this first rate cut in US for 2025 is a good one. And also don't forget that also the European Central Bank last week also left their rate on change and also they expect that that GDP also to grow expand to like about 1.2 from 0.9 last year. If that is achieved, then the president of the ECB also called that the economy is kind of rebounding as well in domestic demand. For me, it's also a good one. Let's see also the Bank of Spain at this time also Bank of Spain also have kind of this week it said it's the 2025 growth forecast to 2.6, while the European biggest economy, Germany, is likely to have a strong boost to its GDP. These are things that, so for example, say, we're seeing a buy interest in most of the stocks there. Also public spending on infrastructure and also defense project also combined, with this tax cut also in that region, which will see how go to also part. Why French political uncertainties remain an issue, but I believe that the zone is navigating to see how all this are resolved and put the economy in track. That is a good news for them. Like I said earlier, type of Japan have left rate unchanged, and was also seen that yes, crude oil is also tracking for a weekly gain, even when there's a slowdown today, but it's likely to close the week on a positive note for following the rate cut by Fed. This so despite the growing concern of slowing US demand, but still let's see how far the cut is going to impact sale of crude oil. I believe that a weaker dollar will support what a stronger demand for commodity market, which I believe that crude oil also benefit from that. People look at what is happening in US. US is a market that we cannot ignore, but right now, after US have rallied to almost all-time high recently, in terms of hitting a new high, their indices for this hour, I can tell that most of these indices are flat compared to what we saw in the previous section. And Donald Trump and the China leaders also are expected to also hold a phone call on this Friday morning. Want to see the outcome with all this leading. Let's see how far come out. But at the end of the day, all eyes are still not so all these top shipping companies, I mean shipping firms like Federal, FedEx, quarter result and revenue also surprise the analysts and the projection put us a good one to show that logistics and also export and import is still that for a shipping company to put a quarterly result that is that surpass the analyst projection is a good one. Why they will make the ladder share also deep on what on the third quarter, a slump in a kind of a slump or kind of decline in the three months account. But on the whole, like I said earlier, that the major indices in this market are looking down in the market right away for US market, which also for me, investors are looking on that, paying attention to that to see what they can take advantage of this slowdown. But I believe that all indicators in that environment are not looking bad, even the oscillating sentiment in that environment. But despite that, the week is also likely to close positive for US market at the end of the day. That's why you and I have to pay attention for those that are trading US market, target those stock. But I believe that as we have seen that the futures are trying to stabilize after Fed rate cut. These are the things we should also pay attention to. But I believe that investors are watching carefully what is happening in that US market at this hour. And that's why every investor should pay attention on the market, not where you invest and go asleep. Even as the rate cut also have boosted sentiment, since the cut was done at 25 basis points, I see that market till now has also remained in a good position. There is no cause for alarm. So the policy shift is part of changes in any market, and please expect that with this, all eyes on the risk management court and also how the chairman of Fed and also the policy maker there will continue to navigate the economy to see that the pressure of inflation or inflationary pressure is kind of contained and see how all this one at the end of the day. Well, I believe that the US Trump and ZSI said to talk with all their discussion, also see how good to also bring in the direction in terms of US and China trade war. But like I said earlier, impressive earnings from FedEx is also a good one. That also could pattern despite that most of the stocks are flat. Crude oil, I mentioned that crude oil before, it's flat as we speak. But you go to African market, I'll tell you that African market is flat. The only few markets in Africa are just including marginally in the red. And like we come to look at what is happening NGS is looking down as we speak now, right now. But seeing that, like I said, that the result that come from the financial sector, especially trade dividend, will change the sentiment of the market, either positive or negative. Right now, with the result that came from two first year banks, especially the one that came from UBA and Zenith Bank. I see that UBA is almost 10% down, around 42 now, just because market reaction. But I tell you, there's no cause for alarm. For those who understand and those that follow us in this class, I tell you, this is an opportunity. Because if you look at the result, if these banks have made fully no provision for the forbearance loan and all those stuff, it's a signal that at the end of the day, especially end of the financial year 2025, we might see a better dividend. But I think this time for us to say price is very, very important, and that's why we must pay attention to price anytime, any day. But before we go into looking at our topic today is very, very interesting. You need to also know that that is the way that you can stay ahead of the market anytime, any day. And that's why you must pay attention to that. This anytime you are in the market is very, very important. Once you pay attention, you understand what is happening in the market, and it will help you to make what informed investment decision. How to follow activities and money flow in trading using technical tools. This is very, very important. Before we go to the topic, we to look at the data, market data, or what is happening on the NGS right now. As we speak, I see that the market has come below the 142,000 mark. That means market have broken another first resistance or support level that don't then wait and see. Now is market is trading about 141,645.64. Market is down almost 0.45 as we speak now down. That's about 579.4 basic point in the red. Look at market breadth. Market breadth is reflecting sentiment in the market as we speak. We're having a negative market breadth of 29 decliners and just 10 or 30 decliners and 10 advancers at this moment. But like I always say, this is how you should know that yes, you need to understand this market. After seeing this pullback now, that's why the topic of today is very, very important. Looking at what how to follow activities and the money flow in what on the MTS or stock trading. You need to understand all this, because that's the only way you can make a way investment decision, especially for we traders. You need to understand what is happening in the market. It's very, very important. Before I will go to looking at the topic for today, let's take a look at what are the top gainers as we speak now for the losers. It's very, very important that we pay attention to that. We're seeing some stocks that are leading these gainers right away. You need to pay attention to them to see how the market is going to react to all this. As we speak now, I see that the Nigeria Bureau is also on the top gainers, followed by Vaccine gainers also, and also can see the initial PS is also there, and also see Women Bank trying to they're marginally up. Japan is also marginally up. While on the losers, profit taking is also hitting each transact. I'm not surprised. It transact UBA, Access Corp, we're seeing also Zenith Bank and GTCO all on the loser side. These are the top losers as we speak right now. So let's wait and see how the market is midday. But for me, there's no cause for alarm. This is part of the market. But I'll tell you, a pullback in these stocks will make them more attractive. After Zenith Bank has just a marginal decline in their bottom line, top line was good, more than 40% for those that follow us in terms of growth for the top line will have a marginal. But for me, yeah, any percent declared for Zenith Bank just because of what the PS share in issue from 18 naira in 2024 to 12. It's not because of the 8% or 5% decline in the bottom line. It's a lot of what increased share in issue that also have made they have watered down the earnings. For me, the banks they have momentum to go back as high as 80. That's surprise, especially looking at to see their close today or not before end of October. That will also change the sentiment in the stock, and also dividend of 105 kobo compared to that of the UBA of 25 kobo. I see potential in Zenith Bank. We need to pay attention to that stock. Tell you that the banking sector are the engine of any economy. Even when there will be rate cut, come MPC meeting, the banks will benefit from it, because now the banks are sitting on what on put fund and rate cut. If that will attract more people to come and take loan, and also all those people that have come back will become serviceable again if we go on what on kind of losing our monetary policy come MPC meeting next week. Yes, coming to our topic today, like I said earlier, how to follow activities and money flow in what on NGS using what using technical tools. Before I go further say anything, I want to tell everyone in the class today that when there's no activities in the market, there's nothing technical analysis can do. That's why you must look at activity. Where is that activity? That's how to follow activities. There's no other activity that you can apply your tech analysis. Look at your money flow, your demand and supply. If there's no activities, there's no demand and supply. That means for you to do tech analysis, there must be activities in the market. That should be at the back of your mind. That when a market is trending, there's no movement. How will you use your tech analysis? Well, nothing. Well, when you see a market that's kind of trending up, we call it an up market or down market, any sideways market will become more challenging for both the players, both the operators, and also the regulator, because at that time, I'll tell you, a lot of activities is very, very slow or not moving. But most times you can say that kind of consolidation, look on what you are seeing on your chart. But I'll tell you, When there's no activities, there's nothing your technicals can tell you in any market. Whether you're trading FS, you're trading a stock, you're trading a commodity, you're trading cryptocurrency, anyone you're trading, you need to understand that it's activities that bring what the usage of what technical analysis. That's why I said, technical analysis trend can give you able to that trend repeat itself, all these ones that are event price pattern, all those ones. It is when there's activities that all those can come. Yes, fine. Let's go back to our topic today. To track activities in any market or money flow, you must pay attention to what there are some indicators that we use. But because I've said earlier that activities must be there for you to know, and that is why for activities, that is where you can see buy and sell, and buy and sell will tell you where is the fund is going, and that is the power of demand and supply. And for you to able to read this easily in any market, there are some indicators that you can use to help you to read them, which most of you in this class understand or have used, especially those that follow us for a while, and those that have attended our comprehensive stock trading course. I don't joke with what with money flow index. That index is what you pay attention, because it's a volume weighted average, that indicator that help you to kind of read oscillation between what is happening in the market. And when you see that, it tells you that what price and volume is interacting, because it measures the buying and the selling pressure in the market. If you can read that very well, you're able to see where market is oversold or overbought, because the money flow will help you to give you an insight. And those that are from myself, when you see money flow that is above 50, and you say that there's a buying pressure. But you see money also, when it's looking up above, they also is looking down below 50, that's something also wrong. No bracket, there's a selling pressure in that market. You must understand this. And other indicator you can likely use, you can see if you are looking at whether your what we call unbalanced volume, or we're looking at the accumulation distribution line. Also, this also to show you money flow. This are to show you money flow, where fund is entering or where from. That's why volume is very, very important in technical analysis. Don't forget that. I always say that volume and price is the key center, is the fundamental, is the tools in technical analysis. You don't joke with the words. They all tell you a lot of activities. They tell you what is happening. That's why we don't joke with them in terms of what when it comes to what using them for analysis. You must pay attention to this, because they are very, very important to help you to navigate the market. And also volume is very, very important. Whether you are observing it or volume, or you are using indicators to read it, it tell you the key component of what of the money flow. Where is the fund entering? You must understand that any level at any time you are in the market, and that's why you must pay attention to it. And to understand this money flow, the basic thing that since money flow is a momentum indicator, volume indicator, I see is a momentum and also volume indicator that shows money flowing in and out of the security or underlying asset you are looking at. These are the things that you must pay attention. And the concrete volume data to what to be a more sensitive version of it. Just like of go to something like relative strength index, which is also what indicator about 4. Money flow, money put more of what on on that of money indicator with the volume, and that is the most times why most times you get action of buying and selling is reflected on money flow. And that's why when money is leaving the market or leaving in the future stock, you will know easily looking at your money flow. Or let's do that, don't pay attention to money flow. It can also help you also to identify your overbought and your oversold condition, which I've said earlier when I was starting this class, that when you see your MFI, which is also that instrument I use for money flow. I've told you about activities, but talking of money flow, if you want to read that, see in the money flow above 50 is there that the selling pressure, but when you see it above 80, then that yes, the market has already entered overbought region, or the stocks that overbought zone. When you see it above 80, they really 100 good. Funds are it might not say that immediately that stock will start coming down, but you should understand that when market funds are closer to a level, they are that fund will start coming down again. But it gives you to how to read your indicator, and also where to take decision to exit or to hold. That is the important of this identifying overbought and oversold the condition. You must know. And when you see that below 50, you know that yes, selling pressure is coming. And also when you see it also around the 20, it suggests that yes, the overbought region is almost then the likely possibility of a buy potential or buying a signal going to come. Because of that, the upside is what is the reversible phase. That is also another nutrient. But we must monitor one thing very important: the 50 level when reading this money flow is very, very important. When reading money flow, must know where it's 50 point. It's very, very important. You indicate your buying pressure, and at the same time when it's below, it also help you to suggest that that's also a selling pressure. You must look at it. And also, you look at the divergent also. Pay attention to a situation where you see that your money flow and price are moving in opposite direction. That divergence also gives you a signal so that you know exactly when the reversal will take place, and you also know when to also to jump out of this market. You know, when we are using a lagging indicator, because most of all the indicators we use, they are lagging. Only few of them are trend following that. Also tell you what is happening as well. Money flow will read what that buying and selling activities to tell you whether fund is entering. So I pay attention to that money flow anytime, any day. You understand that now to read that activities flow with money. If you don't understand following the activities and money flow, I will tell you, you'll see what is happening in the market. Quickly, let's go back to our chart. You'll see what I'm saying. Here's the chart for today. You can see that the market pull back here. So, okay, let me quickly call on that indicator so that you can see the importance of knowing activities in the market and also following the money. Following the money, you can see all this smart money. When they come to the market, you also know following the money is very, very important. When you are following the money, you're able to know exactly what is happening, and you know when to take decision, when to pack out for the market. When the party is over, you will know. When the party is beginning, you also know. You must pay attention to this. It's very, very important. If you look at the chart now, this 8 days moving average exponential, you can see that market as we speak is still, even with the pullback of all this morning so far, is still trading flat on the T line, which is a good one for me. And also, if you look at your daily chart, no, MACD has gone no bullish already. You can see it here. Money flow is already reading almost 78. For me, it's a good one. This is a good sign. With this pullback, money flow is still looking up. Fine, we need to watch. And also, the volume so far we have seen in the market is very, very small. Tell that even with the pullback, people are not sleeping because all eyes are still on economic events that will change the market depending on the outcome of the meeting. If we are seeing some improving indicators, and also the last for the trade open market operation, sorry, the treasury bill, the open market treasury bill, we saw that the options open market or the option market, we saw a decline across all the tenors. For me, it's a sign. Let's wait and see what happens on Monday and Tuesday. The meeting open for the MPC meeting on Monday, and also afternoon around 2 1, we'll hear it from the chairman, which is also the CBN governor, to give us a direction from the outcome. But I believe that the regulators, the policymakers, all of them are saying that this economy needs also to expand, and it can't expand without a direction of a fund. Is it cheaper fund that is market, or fund that investors cannot have access, or the economy cannot have access because of the high cost? We need to see. These are what we define where the market will go next. But today, this pullback is an opportunity to cash into some stocks and also take the advantage and pullback also reverse, because it's nature of the stock market. Especially we have seen the market trying to recover for almost many days. Well, after about 4 weeks pullback, now for almost the second week we are seeing market going up. For me, I'm not surprised that this correction will just will not last for it. Market rebound, especially as we see more of this bank result, and also we see the third quarter result comes October, after the second week of October. On this note, I will say thank you. But before I close for today, I want to remind you for the masterclass. Those that have taken advantage of the discount is closing by 12 midnight on Sunday. That is on the 21st of September. The masterclass is on the 27th, and it starts by 9 and close by 4:30. Our speakers are all the guests and all the professionals, all are very ready for this class. You need to also prepare yourself to come at this. Really, as far as seeing opportunity in the market, the right stock to buy, the right stock to sell. You need to understand this when you come to this class, so that you can ask questions. How can we take advantage of what this improving macroeconomic data in this season, especially as we are entering into the last quarter of the year? You must understand where to put your money and how to invest with knowledge that you won't panic out of your position just because market is pulling back. No, it's not all pull back that send signal. Once you don't understand the market, can start selling. Wait. I tell you, the stock that are pulling back today, if all attracted, you can tomorrow can also rebound and start going up. Or you take advantage of any pullback that accumulates more if the fundamental of that company remains intact. On this note, I will say thank you. We'll see you on Monday, hopefully by God's grace. Enjoy the rest of your trading day. Bye.